Hey guys, welcome back. It's week 3 and we're moving. And what we want to talk about in this week is quality versus quantity. And we're going to talk about calories and why they're not as important unless we start to go at the source of where the calories come from. So mindset number 1 is calories do not equal a calorie. What does that mean? Why is that important for them to know?
Well, I think this is a global issue, but everybody thinks a calorie in versus a calorie out. And reality is, go back to the cell. So imagine if you have 100 calories of broccoli and then you have 100 calories of chocolate cake. The cell is not going to respond in the same exact way. So again, we're back to the cell. And again, calories are important, but the key issue is understanding the quality trumps calories, and that's where we begin.
Why are we so fascinated with these nutrient labels where it's talking about calories? Why is everything about calories?
Well, all calories is an energy expenditure component. So if I move my body, I burn calories. If I eat this food, it has so many calories. So calories is just a unit of measurement, which is not a bad thing.
It's pretty easy to measure.
Yeah, it's easy to measure, but understand that the body looks at it differently. It doesn't really care. It just looks at the nutrients. So we all can overeat. We can eat too many calories. But what's really missing when you think about diabetes, it's the quality that we begin with. That's the key, because that's going to make your cells healthy, makes it soft and permeable, and that's the challenge we're facing.
So an apple versus applesauce, it's going to matter. And that leads us to what we want you to learn and know, and it's the source principle that we teach. And so this is your favorite principle. Explain to them what the source principle is.
Well, again, when people are trying to lose weight or get healthier, or we're talking about diabetes, that as the body gets healthier, you got to look at what's the source. Where's it come from? We can talk about reading labels. We can talk about organic. We can talk about GMOs. We can spend a lot of time in this presentation to do that, but reality is all you need to know is what's the source. And as you get close to the source, the body can break it down easily, and it's easily absorbed, price goes down, and nothing's off limits. And that's what's fun. And so when people say, can I eat this or that, it's very confusing. Can I eat a grain? Can I eat a potato? Can I eat a banana? Whatever it might be, as you get closer to the source, nothing's off limits.
So when you get closer to the source, it's healthier for us and it's cheaper. That seems like
healthier and cheaper.
Too good to be true.
And again, the body's not meant to consume nutrients in isolation. And so when you eat an apple, or you eat a banana or an ancient grain or vegetable or whatever it might be, you're getting it directly from the source. The body knows what to do with it, how to break it down, how to feed the body the nutrients it needs to be its healthiest. And I think that's what we want you to understand, is get closer to the source.
And one of our concerns that we see is a lot of manipulation of these foods to get them a certain way scientifically to help people with type 2 diabetes, controlling the sugar, changing the protein. And that's really a vicious cycle. And so
yeah, when you think about gluten-free this and gluten-free that, or whatever it might be,
no sugar.
It's getting away from the source. Or again, we're taking the sugar out. Back in the 80s, they were taking the fat out, remember that? And so that's really what's missing out there. We get away from the source. The body knows what to do with it, and that's where we want to tackle.
So you created this food target in 1994. Yeah. Explain kind of the concept around the food target.
Well, I worked at this large health club, 10,000 members, everybody's on a diet. And I really wanted to help people understand that that's not how you lose weight. That's not how you get healthier. Again, it might be temporarily, but it's not working long term. But really the target was based on food quality and in balance. So again, the top is carbohydrates. We have healthy fats, healthy proteins. These are the 3 macronutrients. That's what we're talking about in this segment, is we want to help you get all these nutrients in balance, but all your goal is to slowly upgrade. So if you're eating in the red area of the target, you don't necessarily have to jump into the green area, but the goal is transitioning along the way and upgrading. And that's really what the genesis behind the target.
So our action items we want you to take, number 1 is creating some upgrades. And whether that's starting with breakfast or your beverages, or maybe even looking at some of your supplements, because there's a lot of bad supplements that aren't moving us in the right direction. What do you want them to focus on specifically on upgrading?
Well, I think what do you eat the most of?
Okay.
So I want you to begin there. So for example, if you get up in the morning and you have a breakfast cereal, how do you make that breakfast cereal better? So if you're eating processed maple and brown sugar oatmeal, just move into a better oatmeal. If you put some other things on that, your goal is to slowly upgrade. So whatever you eat the most of, that's where you target, that's where you begin. And believe it or not, now you're moving in that direction, and then you just mimic that kind of thinking along the way. And that's what we've learned for many years at On-Target Living, is how do you get people to slowly make these changes that they like and can repeat, and now their cells are getting healthier, their energy levels higher, their skin looks better, and everything else that falls in place, their health gets.
And they're pivoting and creating habits that they can sustain. We're not telling you what to eat necessarily for breakfast. Take what you are eating for breakfast and let's make that better. If it's oatmeal, we're gonna eat a better oatmeal. If it's cereal, a better cereal. If you like eggs, maybe we're gonna get a better egg and use better toast or a butter spread, or some type of small changes make a big difference.
And then one of the handouts we'll be sending you is called Brand Favorites, and all it is a better version of whatever you like. So if you like chips or crackers or whatever you like, it's going to give you a better. But as you mentioned, you're really trying to be able to pivot and make upgrades that work specifically for you. That's why we don't want to hand you a diet. We want you to learn how to eat, and then how do you make it your own? And that's what we've learned over the years. That's what gets exciting for people. And now it's their own plan, not some dialed up diabetes plan. It's a plan that make you healthy and feel your best.
And when you make these simple upgrades, now you're enjoying food, it's healthier for you, and those cells are gonna work. And I just wanna make one point. We're not telling you to start to manipulate your macronutrients. We didn't really talk about carbs, proteins, and fats in isolation. We're saying upgrade the food, and those carbs, proteins, and fats will naturally line up.
And as you get closer to the source, what you're gonna find in the target, they all kind of cross over. Nuts have fat and protein. Some proteins have fat. The list goes on. So as you eat closer to the center, more closer to the source, the body gets what it needs, and then we get rid of a lot of the supplements that people think they need to take, and the list goes on.
So action item, make some simple upgrades. Start with the foods you eat the most of. Look at beverages. Beverages are sometimes overlooked. Look at supplements. And the last thing is, we want you to make mistakes. What foods have you never tried or haven't tried in a while? Have you had an orange in a while? Or have you made some quinoa or some food that maybe you kind of were suspect of? Because we got to make mistakes, and what you'll uncover is you'll find that you like some, you'll find that you won't like some, but the key is we're slowly moving to some better sources, we're creating some better options, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to start balancing our quality versus our quantity. And the cells look at calories different than we do on the back of a label. So join us again next week in week 4, and we're here to guide you if you need any help along the way.